Well, lots of news around today. Joining me is the panel, Sky News contributor and host of the Spectator Australia's Australiana Podcast, Will Kingston, and the Courier Mail's night editor, Damien Tomlinson. Great to have you guys on board. Now, Anthony Albanese is halfway through his term, and already it feels too long. But get this, Albo announced today that he wants his terms to be extended from 3 years to 4. Have a listen.
Our view, long-term policy, and we've put it to the Australian people, is for 4-year terms. But I don't anticipate that happening anytime soon, and I think that's unfortunate. Every single state has 4 years.
Will, apart from Elbow, do you reckon anyone else in the country reckons we need even more Elbow?
James, Albo is absolutely right on this. We are, you've got to keep in mind that this will apply just as much to the guy you like as the guy you don't like. We are crippled by short-termism in this country. Look at the cycle of a first-term government. You have the first year honeymoon where they're finding their feet. You have the second year to do something, and then you're in election campaign mode for the third year. Now, Albo buggered that up with the Voice, admittedly, but 1 year out of 3 to get stuff done when this country needs such serious reform is woefully inadequate. We're continuously looking at polls as politicians. They're continuously looking at the election cycle. This may be one way to try and get serious reform back on the agenda in Australia, because at the moment, it's just not there.
Will, I know you make sense, but I am not going to agree with you until maybe we've got someone in the lodge other than Elbow. Damien, talk some common sense to us. We can't have 4-year terms while this Labor government is in power, can we?
Will makes some great points there, James, but I have to side with you there. I couldn't bear the thought of a 4-year term of a federal government of any particular stripe, to be honest. We have them up here in our state level politics, and it just seems like it takes forever to get back to the ballot box. And at a federal level, I think 3 years is quite long enough.
Amen. I'm with you on that. Will ignore everything you said, and we'll talk about it when there's a different Prime Minister. The Supreme Court of Western Australia has ruled a 62-year-old woman can have sperm removed from her deceased husband. Now, the couple tragically lost 2 children in accidents and were discussing having another via an overseas surrogate, but then the husband died suddenly before Christmas. Now, posthumous fertilisation is illegal in WA, so another court order would be required before the woman could use the sperm. But, Will, this raises a lot of ethical questions, doesn't it?
It does. In this instance, I'm okay with it because they could establish that the intent of the husband was to go ahead with it. But what I would say, it does indicate a worrying trend against protecting bodily autonomy in our court system. We've already seen over the COVID period that the courts didn't step in to protect bodily autonomy when coercive vaccine mandates were put in place. I can't believe that there are still jobs in this country where you need to have an experimental vaccine in your system to take that job. This is another example, albeit a limited one, where the court hasn't protected bodily autonomy. And I just wonder if the abortion debate was to rear its ugly head in Australia, whether the courts would stand up for the bodily autonomy of women in the way that perhaps they should. Just a thought.